Hello everyone, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I am doing the review on the Warrior 3 palette by Juvia's Place. You guys know, if you follow me for a long time, this is one of those brands where I purchase all their palettes because they're inexpensive and I absolutely love their color stories. So this one is their second recent one. The Nomad is the most recent one and that should be coming to my house any day now, so I can do a full review on that one. But today I wanted to specifically do this one, and mainly because I wanted to compare it to a different palette and share with you guys swatches, because a different palette came to mind on me. And as you guys know, when it comes to eyeshadows, things get repetitive. Sometimes things can overlap within one another. So that's what I'm here to share with you guys today. But before we get into the review, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alex. I am an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Pan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join the familia. And now, without further ado, let's get on with the review. Okie dokie, you guys, you're ready. So this is going to be quick and easy to the point. This is the second latest of Juvia's Place's releases. This is the Warrior 3 palette. They have the Warrior 1, which was completely all matte. Then they had Warrior 2, and now we have Warrior number 3. So this one is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. You're getting the majority of them as being matte with 2 shimmer shades. That's it. Only 2 shimmer shades, which is not the norm for Juvia's Place. Normally they give you a little bit more, at least 3, but that is different. This one looks like a rainbow palette, but it's not 100%, and I'll get to that in a second. Just give me 1 minute for that one. But as you guys can see, you are getting a variety of different shades. This one doesn't have a particular color story besides being a mainly rainbow palette with a few shades at the bottom that give you a little bit of a pack a punch. It is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I will show you a demo of it today. This one, like I mentioned, is $20. So in this palette, you're getting a green, yellow, red, orange, purple, pink, and blues. This one specifically here looks like it is a gray, but it's more of a periwinkle color. It is the one that I'm wearing on my lid, and I specifically wore that one because you guys know I'm not a fan of gray, but Juvia's Place always gives you a little bit of a surprise. And this one in the pan looks gray, but it is not. It is a periwinkle blue. So you guys can clearly see that on my eyes today. So this one in specifically, I feel like it is a little bit repetitive when it compares to a different palette, but it is not 100%. As I mentioned in the intro, whenever you have a brand basically, and you're coming out with only eyeshadow palettes and you're not given a variety of different things and you're sticking to eyeshadow palettes, you're going to run into a point where you're either overlapping shades or having similar shades within each palette. And this one, when I saw this one, I assumed it was going to be more purples and pinks, to be honest with you. So this one I feel like doesn't really go with the color scheme of the actual outside of the packaging. It's more of a sultry rainbow with a few different colors at the bottom. Now, that's not to say that this palette is terrible. If you like the quality of Juvia's Place, it is the same quality as any other palette you have. The mattes are more of a drier formula, so you do have to pack them on and then blend them out. You're not going to get the same intensity that you see on here just by putting your brush in. That is not to say that the shimmer shades are not like that. The shimmer shades pack a punch from the get-go, and that's how these two are. This blue one is super pretty. It is a very turquoisey type of blue, and then this one, like I mentioned, it's not a gray, it's more of a periwinkle gray. So the first palette that came to my head when I saw this palette was the Zulu palette. So I am going to compare it specifically to this one because I feel out of all the palettes that they have come out with, these two are going to be the most similar in their color stories, but not necessarily in the actual eyeshadows themselves. You will see the comparison swatches in a minute, but before I get into it, I do want to mention that you can pull out a bunch of Juvia's Place palettes and nitpick each individual eyeshadow out of here and find some sort of similar color within a different palette. Again, once you're coming out with a bunch of palettes, you're going to run into relapping, maybe a different undertone, a different depth to the color, but you're going to come out with something similar. So it's up to you whether you are a collector like myself and enjoy them, or you can actually skip this one out if you have this one or other few of them that Juvia's Place has come out with. So we're going to get into the swatches before I get into the demo. So here are the 2 eyeshadow palettes here. As you guys can see, you are seeing a similar color story, but it's not necessarily exactly the same. The undertone undertones of each of these two palettes, it's a bit different, but you are at the end may turn out to have the same shadow effect. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of all of the shades that I have found that are very similar to one another in both of these palettes specifically, but I'm going to talk about them while I have this picture on the screen so you guys can see and reference what I am speaking of. So the first shade that we have on the far left is the burgundy shade. The one in the Warrior 3 palette is more of a red based one, and the one in the Zulu is more of a pink base. You can see the difference in between both of them. If you shear out the red one, you may end up with more of a pinky shade than just packing it on itself, but they are a bit different. As far as the greens go, in the new palette, in the Warrior palette, you're getting an emerald shade. It's more deeper, it's more sultry than in the Zulu one, which is more of a blue green. So they are different. They're not exactly the same, but you guys can see what I am trying to get at. As far as the yellows are next, in the Warrior 3 palette, you're getting more of a white base yellow, and then in the Zulu, you're getting more of an orange based one. To be honest with you, I wish these two yellows would have swapped, and I would have actually liked the two yellows in their respective swatch better. So if the old Zulu yellow would go into the Warrior and vice versa, I would have liked that a lot more in its color story itself, but they're okay. You're both getting yellows. They are different. But again, if you put a base, you can make them look similar. The purple in the new one is more of a red purple. And in the Zulu palette, it is a little bit more of a softer, more vibrant white based purple. They're not exactly the same. The one in the Warrior 3 has a lot more depth to it than the one in the Zulu, which makes sense because Zulu is more of a brighter palette. And the last one is the oranges. The oranges, the new palette, which is the Warrior 3, that is more of a red base. And I held that true putting it on my eyes. I realized that is more of a red base. And the one in the Zulu is a lot brighter orangey based. It's more of a yellowy, whiter type of orange. It has a lot more brightness to it than it does in the Warrior 3 palette. So as you guys can see from both of them, you are getting similarities, but they're still in their depths and undertone maybe a bit different. So you are going to come out with a different look. I noticed that very much specifically with the oranges. I noticed it with the greens. The purple, it's a bit of a stretch, but you could still get away with it. And the reds, you could definitely tell. So you are I want you guys to realize that even though they do look similar, they're still different. And you can do that by changing the undertone or the depth of the shadow. So it's up to you whether you feel like you need or want the new Warrior 3 palette, or if you have the Zulu palette, you can skip out on this one. Now with the shimmery shades, those are the difference. Obviously this one, the Zulu one, is giving you a red shimmery shade, a green one, and a blue one. And this one's only giving you two of them, which is more of a bright blue right over here. And then this one. This blue is not at all in the Zulu palette. That's the only color that I would say is very, very different. And the pink one. These two right here, the pink and the blue, are very, very different as far in the Zulu palette. Now let's get into the demo that I did do with the Warrior palette, is what I'm wearing on my eyes. First, I started out with the yellow shade. I really had to build this yellow shade up, again, because it's more of a brighter yellow than it is the one in the Zulu. I wish the one in the Zulu was swapped with this one, because I think it would have worked out a little bit more in my favor. I would appreciate it more because it's more sultry. Then I went ahead and used the green one in the outer part. This is very vibrant. I packed it on, then blended it out into my crease, but I specifically kept it on the outer part. I went ahead and went in with that grayish periwinkle color, packed that on with my fingers on my lid. I find that with the shimmery shades, it's best to use your finger. That's when you get the most impact, or wet the brush. And then for the lower lash line, I used the red and the orange. Because I blended both the red and the orange together, it really didn't come out the way I wanted it to, because the orange, like I mentioned, is more of a red orange. So it just looks like more reddish under my eyes, which is fine because that's what was expected using that orange. So who would I recommend this? Somebody who is a Juvia's Place lover, who is a collector of Juvia's Place, who felt like the Zulu palette was more too bright for their liking. It was just too vibrant, too bright in their favor. This one might be something for you. If you actually wanted the Zulu, but you're just not going to get use out of it, you want it more deeper, this one would definitely work out best, because you can really use that green, and it's more of a deeper green. That yellow can be very soft used. These blues, you can use them, you know what I mean? Like, this is a little bit more user friendly as far as the colors go than the Zulu one, because the Zulu are super bright and in your face. So it's very inexpensive. You can use a coupon code. You guys know that affiliate codes are out there and you can get this for under $20 with shipping and tax. This is what I did. I do like it, you guys. Not my favorite. I'm actually considering ranking my Juvia's Place palettes because I get them. I have the whole entire collection. So I might consider doing that and you guys will see where this one lands. Comparing them to everyone. Again, this isn't my favorite, but I did want to share it with you guys, specifically the comparisons and the colors. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will link these palettes down in the description box if you are interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will list some videos right over here if you guys want to continue your journey with me. Until then, bye guys.